Have you ever wondered what would happen if there were hundreds of people controlling one game? Well, that's what I wanted to find out. That's why I created a game that my YouTube live chat controls. I've seen those videos of Doug having his Twitch chat control different games, but I wanted to see what would happen if I created the game from the ground up. Then I let my audience control it. So first things first, we need a game idea. I didn't want it to be too complicated because there would be a delay between the stream and the game, so I started thinking of simple games. The first one that came to my mind was Pong. I really like that idea since it's just a ball bouncing, and then I got the idea to make one of those brick breaker type of games. I thought I would make all the gameplay automatic and play by itself, and then YouTube chat would be able to change things like the speed of the ball or how many balls were on screen at a time. So with that basic idea in mind, I got to work. I opened up a new Unity project, and the first thing I did was set the resolution to a vertical aspect ratio. I wanted this live stream to be on YouTube Shorts because I thought it would be easier for people to chat, but if you think it should be on desktop, let me know in the comments, and I might be able to make a new version. Anyways, the next thing I did was get to work on making the game. The first thing I did for the game itself was create the ball and the paddle, and then I just let it bounce around to get a feel for the game. I also made it so when it hits the paddle, it'll bounce off in a random direction instead of going back and forth. This way it'll be more random and interesting to watch. Next, I got to work on the main mechanic of the game, which was the bricks. I set up this little grid of bricks and I made it so when the ball hits one of them, it'll get destroyed and your score will go up. Then I thought the game was looking a little bit ugly, so I got to work making it look better. The first thing I did was change some of the colors. I changed the background from this orange to a dark blue, and then I made the blocks have a random bright color. This way they'll stand out from the background and look a lot better. Then I also tried making a trail for the ball to make it look more interesting and stand out more. Now with all these changes, I think the game is looking much better and we're ready to move on. After that, I worked on making it endless. The way I'm going to do this is just by making it so when you destroy all of the blocks on screen, a new set of blocks will be spawned with a different color. I feel like this could maybe get a little bit repetitive, but I think the blocks changing their color will help. Then I also added a score counter to have some sense of progression and make your comments feel like it was doing something. Then the last two things I did for the main game loop were to add this background, and I created it by making these ambient particles that just add more life into the scene. And then finally I created a click sound effect for when the ball hits something. After that, we need to start working on the commands and having the chat control the game. Here are the three that I came up with. A color command that will have a 100% chance to change the ball's color to a random color. I think this one will be useful just to get people chatting and see their chats have an effect on the game. The next command I created will have a 50% chance and it'll spawn a random ball. I decided to make this have a 50% chance so people couldn't spam it and completely break the game. Finally, I created a speed command that'll have a 50% chance to increase the ball's max speed and make the game go faster. I think these commands will be useful in many different situations and have a good balance and a good effect on the gameplay. Now onto the hard part of actually making the chats do these things. I did some research and I found out I had two options. I could either make it so the chats would be read from inside of Unity, or I can make them read out of Python. I decided to make them read out of Python because I wanted to relearn Python. So to do this, I used a library called PyChat, and here's my code for if you're interested in how it works. It basically just looks for the chats, and then if it's equal to one of the commands, it presses a number on my keyboard. Then Unity would read those key presses and have a chance to do the commands. Then I went to test it out. I went live and I left it running for about an hour. On the first test, I actually got some good feedback and it was really cool to see everyone commenting and seeing how it affected the game. Special thanks to Shard Dragon for being one of the first people to stick around in the live stream and give me some good feedback. Then I went back and fixed some of the bugs, and the results from this test were actually pretty good, but no one had broken the game yet by spamming chats. So the next day, I went and I left the live stream up running all day. However, by the time I got home, not many people ended up watching the live stream for very long. The results weren't really what I was expecting, so here's my challenge for you guys. The stream should be up running right now if you're watching this video as it came out. I challenge you to go over there and spam chats and see how chaotic you can get it. Also, make sure you're subscribed if we try this on a different day. Let's try and make it like one of those Doug streams with hundreds of people watching at once. Thank you so much for watching this video, and now let's go see if we can break the live stream.